that is it for all the news items here for the week, guys. Let us get right into the topic of the show.
Oh boy.
Okay. Before we even get started on it, like, you already knew what it was about.
Yeah.
You already know what the topic is. For everybody out there who maybe saw our social media posts, they got a glimpse of the thumbnail that I used.
Oh boy.
For did you see the thumbnail?
Nuh-uh.
I'm gonna pull up the thumbnail. You're gonna laugh at this. So I'm really curious to know what people thought we were gonna talk about based on the thumbnail that I used. And believe me, it took me a minute to actually find
What?
that's part of the picture. I couldn't show the rest of it because I felt a little dirty actually posting that picture in here. So so the topic of the show tonight is our guilty pleasure video games. Where anybody who came here for like the borderline hentai stuff, I'm like, no, you go ahead and leave now because we're not talking about that. Yeah, see you later. There are rules and regulations here on Twitch. We got to abide by them. But no
service.
Hey, we're going to be talking about our guilty pleasure games. The reason I chose that thumbnail is because that is from the Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Oh, is it?
Series? Yes, it is. I could not use the other part of that picture. We might have gotten in trouble with that one. But really, especially Will's not here, so again, don't want to go into anything too deep when I got guests and stuff here. I don't want to blow their brains. Like, whoa.
It won't be the first time.
Don't say that. But really wanted to sit down and kind of talk about some of our guilty pleasure games. And to give people context, guilty pleasure games, we're asking the question, what are some of the games that we play or have played that the majority of people, not only just gamers, but people in general, the human race, may frown upon in watching us play that, or we're not very positive or upbeat on or about with that game, or if it didn't, like, oh, it was a crappy game, it didn't turn out all that well. And it can be a current game, or it can be one that was viewed as bad in the moment. I.e., No Man's Sky. When No Man's Sky got launched, it was panned very hard, but I was still in love with the game and enjoyed every minute of it. So that could be on my list there. It's not, but I got other games on the list here. But we've each picked 3 games that we're going to talk about here. You are the guest. You may go first. What is a guilty pleasure game you have?
So I will say, only one of mine is one that was probably frowned upon.
Okay.
The rest of them are just guilty pleasure games.
Okay.
The first one is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Interesting. Okay. How so? Talk more about this.
So, I first got into the game, and when it first released, this is one I pre-ordered. Unlike y'all, I pre-ordered a lot of games.
What are you talking about? We don't pre-order games. I don't know what he's talking about, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I pre-ordered the game, got it on Xbox, and beat it pretty quickly. I really got into that one. That was about the point in time where I had just gotten into Assassin's Creed in general. And
okay, that's a great time to get in.
Yeah, well, I got into it not long before that, so I got into it when 3 came out, and I started with the first one. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna play 3, I'm gonna start from the beginning and went through it.
Yeah,
and then not long after that, Black Flag came out.
Okay.
And so I was very much into it. I grew up just south of here, not too far from Garnersville. So I always grew up on the water. You know,
okay.
Sometime we went out fishing and everything like that. So the fact that I could play a game where I'm out on a boat was right up my alley.
I'm on a boat and it's going fast. And sorry, when you say I'm on a boat, I'm required legally to sing that.
It's fine.
Continue.
So I got into that. So it was the best of both worlds in my opinion. You know, Assassin's Creed meets ocean sailing, things like that, and of course pirates. Who doesn't love pirates?
Arr, mateys! Oh yeah, that was good.
So I really got into that. I love the, especially the sailing aspect. The fact that you can sail the ocean, hear the your crew singing
the sea shanties.
Yes.
Oh my god,
sea shanties are awesome in that game.
Now if you have Spotify or Apple Music.
Can you get them?
Yes. If you go find the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag album, all the sea shanties are in the back. They're freaking awesome.
I know I'm going to do it worth this week.
Yes, they're freaking awesome. Go listen to those. They're dope.
Didn't know that. Okay. So, yeah, the sea shanties, the fact that you can battle other ships. So I don't know if you remember
the
that.
ship battling. That was the first time they introduced it in Assassin's Creed.
And
it
that's
was really nice.
And that's probably of all the games that have introduced it so far that have released, I think that's been the best one at it so far.
I really had fun. Like,
others have tried to replicate it. I don't think that's quite successful.
I think they still. I know in Odyssey they still had it.
Did they?
I
haven't played Odyssey yet, so
yeah, they have that in there, so you can like bomb ships and then board them and fight people on the ships.
It's coming on my list now.
You check out Odyssey; it's real good.
So yeah, that was. I spent a lot of time. I've actually went through and done like 2 other playthroughs since then.
Okay,
so it's definitely a guilty pleasure.
Man, that game. It's one of the first ones I got on PS4. I enjoyed that game a lot.
I got it on both PC and Xbox.
Okay, there you go. Big fan. And of course, guys, as we're talking about our topic here, if what are your guys' guilty pleasure games? Throw them in chat. Let us know. Verutu says Final Fantasy X2 in chat. That is a good one. That is probably on my list as well for guilty pleasure games. The dress sphere system, be damned. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. Fallen Monk D20 in chat says Battleborn. I still think it would have been done better than Overwatch if it wasn't for the hype that was built around Tracer's butt. Do you remember Battleborn? You probably don't. So, for people who don't know, Gearbox had this this class-based team shooter, 6v6 fighter called Battleborn.
Oh.
Now, I gave that description. You might have been thinking about a game called Overwatch. Basically, what happened is that Overwatch and Battleborn came out literally within like a week of each other.
Oh, jeez.
Overwatch, of course, was Blizzard had the hype around it built up. They ended up. I remember specifically one thing is that Battleborn, I think, came out earlier. What Overwatch did is the weekend, the week that Battleborn came out, they did an open beta for Overwatch, and Battleborn got massacred. It was not even close. Everybody went on the Overwatch bandwagon. Battleborn was gone. Battleborn had some cool ideas, but it was not
bad
smart
timing.
It was bad timing. It was not smart to release it around Overwatch.
Yeah. You definitely don't want to release around a big AAA title.
No. Especially when that game was like that won Game of the Year at the Game Awards that year too. So my number one pick. Get in this shit. Let me tell you guys what I'm talking about. Mother effing Anthem. And look, people are gonna get upset. Will's not here. Seth isn't here, and none other people that come on the show aren't here to talk smack about. Look,
hate the night when someone that plays the game is here.
That's right. I got a fan. I got support this time, baby. Anthem, for all its faults, and I'm not denying them in any sense of the word. Anthem, I enjoy every bit of Anthem. I have a coworker, my friend Sanders Poole in chat. We play. Usually, if he's on, I'm like, today.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I'll play some Anthem for a little bit. I saw he was on. I'm like, I'm definitely playing Anthem now. We jumped in and we were playing the Cataclysm event a couple of times before you popped on.
I didn't know he was on. I wouldn't join y'all.
I'm a huge fan of Anthem, and I know that Anthem is a dirty, dirty word right now. There are people that are like, Anthem is trash, Anthem is garbage, oh my god, and I get where they're coming from. Anthem had a horrible launch. They continue to have, especially after Jason Schreier broke their whole development cycle and all the articles and stuff they talked about what happened with the development of this game. Yeah. It was rough, and it's still rough, but I was telling you, the one thing I think that really brings me back to Anthem, I really enjoy the combat.
Yeah.
Being in the javelins and the fast-paced movement and the different spells and abilities and getting weapons to improve your javelin to do more damage. I love that.
You just like being Iron Man.
That's right. What's wrong with being Iron Man? I am Iron Man. Spoiler for Endgame. for like the 10 people that haven't watched it. But it but one more Gamescast says, "Where's the bleep button?" and speed traps in the social zone.
It's Anthem kind of like Titanfall. I haven't played Titanfall. Have you?
Oh boy, okay. Let me go down chat here one chat at a time. Bearded B says, if I remember correctly, Battleborn pushed released up a week to beat Overwatch out. Yes, and it still didn't matter. They got destroyed. Fallen Monk says, honestly, I think both were fun games. I just liked how Battleborn was built more. It actually had a story and felt more complete. But yes, okay, yeah. Overwatch destroyed in the end. And Bearded B, is Anthem like Titanfall? No. Anthem is like... This isn't 100% accurate, but it's the best way I could describe it. It is third-person Destiny. Okay. So, take Destiny, but instead of first-person shooting, you are third-person Iron Man, flying around. This was the game that, if you didn't... this was a game that... Basically what happened... I have to find the Jason Schreier article... that breaks it down. This is a very hyped game. Like, this was, to give you guys an idea, this was one of my most anticipated games for 2019. Like, I was looking at this at being on short list for Game of the Year, based on what they detailed. And then
I was hyped about it.
It came out, and it was rough. Like, they did the week early access, and it was buggy as hell. I could barely play the game. It got a full ride release, and then other people couldn't play the game. Jason Schreier released his article on Kotaku that basically listed like this game was in development for 7 years, but it really only got built in the last 2 years before its release, because they spent like 5 to 6 years in and
then another 2 years
pre-production. Which, for game developers out, if you don't know game development, that's real bad. If you spend almost 80% of your time in pre-production, and then you only have 20% left to do building and post-production. It was really rough, and it's not in the best of shape right now, but there are a lot of great, strong communities out there. We have a friend of the show, Your Anthem. If you find him on YouTube, he does a lot of Anthem content. He's probably one of the perennial Anthem vocalists out there. I'm part of his guild. So I'm waiting for the next community night so I can play Anthem with, like, I'm playing Anthem with people. Oh boy, I'm so excited. But Anthem, I love the combat. I love fighting in that game. It's just, I'm always honest with you guys, and everything else just wasn't there. They had a huge misstep. And it not necessarily on the workers. It's a lot with the upper management that was there controlling it during the time. And
there's a lot of upper management.
It was, and it just, I'm really hoping, I want to do like an Anthem 1 year later, next February, and just really sit down and talk like, where is Anthem now? Because to give you guys an idea, like, they released in February of this year. They've been focusing mainly on getting like fixes to the game. The Cataclysm is the first content release they've released for the game back in basically early August. And so imagine that for a live service game from February to August, there was no new content. February, March, April, May, June, July, almost half a year, no new content.
Played the opposite of Destiny. Oh, not Destiny, Division.
Yes. Oh, actually, you know what? It's like Anthem is like a sci-fi version of Division.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
But that is one of my guilty pleasure games. I don't even care. People are like, why are you still playing that game? It's like, because I love the combat. I love the community is great. One of the more friendly communities out there. But I love that combat, and I just keep coming back to it. Got some cool new weapons I want to get back in and try. But even if you don't play Anthem, just come to the Rocket Punch cast. Cameron's going to keep you up to date on Anthem, let you know when it's time to come in. I'll do that. I'll do that for you. How about that?
No Man's Sky turned itself around in the public eye, so it could do the same with Anthem.
Exactly. Like, if I could have put No Man's Sky on this list because as I hit my mic here, and then as I put my hipster glasses on, I was playing No Man's Sky and I liked it before it was cool. Like I really had fun with that, and they've done nothing but improve on that game. So I'm hoping for that same case there. One More Gamescast has a good one in chat. Lawbreakers, that was a good one. So this was, I don't know if you know about Lawbreakers. It was it was kind of a way for Cliffy Bleszinski, a prominent developer who worked on Epic back during the Gears game started.
Oh, okay.
He released a game called Lawbreakers for his own studio that was supposed to piggyback on the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Kind of class-based frame of mine, but it never really took off.
Gotcha.
And actually, his studio closed. So,
Only Gamescast.
sounds fun. He's awesome. That's why we're going to be on the show soon. It's going to be great. One More Gamescast says Anthem. That game was killed by internal politics. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. A lot of crazy crap and a lot of like there were arguments between the two teams. Actually, I'm just going to Google Anthem Kotaku. I bet you it'll take me right to the article. Bam! Number one. This is a big freaking deal. So, for people who don't know, that's required reading if you have not read that one in Twitch chat. If you want to know all about what went wrong with Anthem, that is the definitive source from Jason Schreier.
Yep.
Some great investigative journalism on that. Your number 2, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. My number 2, of course, is Destiny. Spent a lot of time with it. The only other game I've spent as much time like in a short period like this has been Halo, and that was back in college.
Huh? It's funny. Halo and Destiny both made by Bungie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So as soon as I jump into Destiny, like the first second stream I did of it, I was like, holy crap, this is Halo on a different story. And I was like, yes, I'm in. I'm sold.
Diving.
So I was like, I felt about it. So yeah, in college I spent a lot of time on Halo.
Okay.
More than I've done on or specifically Halo Reach. It will not be much longer, and I'll have surpassed that in Destiny.
Destiny 2 is interesting because, like, you're not even taking the 2 off. Like, Destiny in and of itself, 1 and 2, has just been a roller coaster.
I never played 1.
You didn't miss much.
I've heard that before.
Until the Taken King, then that's when it got good. But and that's the point. Like, Destiny was on this roller coaster of being like, there were periods where it was good, some periods even when it was great, and then there were periods where it was like really bad. I remember playing I've been a Destiny fan since they announced the game. I remember when I have the actually I'm gonna step off screen here. It's right here. So actually, I'm curious if it still actually lights up. Let's see if I can get it to turn on and talk here.
Oh, nice.
A little ghost here.
Where'd you find that?
This is it actually this is Dinklebot Ghost for people who don't know. So this is from the original Destiny Collector's Edition. I got it for the PlayStation 4. It was a fully rechargeable ghost. It has Peter Dinklage's.
This place is littered with pre-Golden Age artifacts.
Yeah, deep cuts, baby. This was part of that package. Huh?
I'm really jealous right now.
It's so cool. If only it would float around in my head and like revive me when I got hurt. It was the original Destiny. I remember playing the alpha and the beta on PlayStation, and it was like they only had the first zone of Earth, and we're like, oh, this is cool. There's stuff to do. The problem is that we realized that in the first Destiny, when the game opened, it was these huge, beautiful landscapes, but there was barely anything to do in them.
Oh wow!
Barely any. The story was messed up because the game got the story guys left before the game got fully released, so the story didn't get finished. So they had to cobble something together. There wasn't really much to do. All sorts of crazy stuff. So Destiny's kind of had a roller coaster year, and depending on when you played Destiny, is like when you could or could not talk about it. Like, I played Destiny, and then like, I played Destiny. So I don't know. You said you jumped in on 2.
Yeah, I jumped on 2. My oldest nephew is 16, or about to be 16. He tried to get me on Destiny 1 on Xbox, and I didn't do it.
Okay.
But when you guys said just play it with us, try it out, so I did, and I was really shocked at. I was like, why didn't I play Destiny 1?
You didn't miss any. Destiny 2, you're fine with. Yeah. You're not missing much.
Yeah.
Maybe some different zones. I like one. Apparently everybody loves Ghost. I didn't know if you can Google it. In the original Destiny, it came with this. There's also, you actually might like this. I think, is this it? The original Destiny came with this, which is an old like journal booklet that has a lot of. There's a section in here called Arms and Armaments. So it actually has different like drawings and stuff, custom stuff from the original Destiny. This is these are machine guns back when they had them in the game, and then other like postcards and stuff. You can definitely take a look at that. Is this? I'll actually bring this up. This is not Destiny related, but this is Halo related.
I have one of those.
You have this one?
I think so.
This is from Halo Reach.
Yes, it is. I have it. I
bought
it for a friend.
Came with a collector's edition for that. It's like one of the little booklets from Catherine Halsey. It's her journal. So it has all this detailed stuff here. I don't know if people in chat can't see it. There you go.
Yeah,
all this stuff in here from her journal.
I originally got Reach for free from a friend, and a friend of mine was selling his collector's edition, so I bought it off him.
Yeah, dude. That's scary. Do it. I really like this. But that's very cool as well.
Yeah. I gave him $20 and some fix his PC.
There you go. Trade for trade. But yeah, no, it's really cool. I love my Ghost. That's badass though, Cam. Jealous of that one. It is. Thank you. I loved it. If you can find it, you might still be able to buy it.
The last one.
Baby bumpers. The man hasn't lived Destiny yet. You haven't lived Destiny yet. One more Gamescast in chat says, "Oh man, he never got to experience Atheon and baby bumpers. That man hasn't lived Destiny yet." Here, I'm gonna find out the true OG Destiny players out there who remembers the loot cave. Let me know that the loot. Yeah, one more Gamescast. He's there. The loot cave. So in the original Destiny, it was. You remember when we played Anthem, how hard it was like to get loot?
Yeah.
Like drops were garbage.
Yeah.
Horrible. Destiny had that problem too at the beginning.
Really?
Yeah. At the original Destiny 1 back in 2014. So what happened was people found this exploit in on Earth. There was this cave where enemies would spawn. Basically, this is how people had to have fun in this game. People would sit here and camp the cave. So they would just wait as enemies spawn, pick them off in the cave, and then after it was a huge wave of enemies, like Hive. Once they were dead, you would fly over, collect whatever loot you could, then fly back and just kill them. That was the game loop. You didn't do any strikes, you didn't do anything else, other missions or in the world. You basically sat in front of the cave and just popped and waited until you got like legendaries and exotics and took them.
Sounds boring.
It was the One More Gamescast says it was Destiny's version of a strip club. Engrams for days.
I like this other one about the waiting for something to flash on the screen that says operators stand by, so I can
call it by that.
call about some of that sweet loot.
Do what that like that one streamer that blew up, Paladin Amber.
Oh yeah.
Like do the camera switches like for only 3 payments of $19.95. You too can own here this lovely ghost. Blah blah blah. That would be cool. It would be super cool. But no, it was. The loot cave was cool, and there were those cool moments like that. But Destiny has come a long way since Destiny 2. Yeah. You're a new Destiny player. What's been your favorite part of Destiny so far?
The voice acting and the dialogue up until Forsaken.
Wow, burn.
Because, I mean, the person that I liked. Yeah, I won't spoil it for anybody that hasn't played it, but
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
My number two guilty pleasure game. Let's get back on track here. My number two is a game. It's funny that Rurutu brought up Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Because I have a Final Fantasy game on here that is my guilty pleasure that traditionally isn't looked very positively on. It's not bad. Does not look very positively on. I absolutely love the game. Final Fantasy 13. One of the big... So for people who know, Final Fantasy 13, it's the one with the lightning and the sword. Not 8, with the gunblade. No gunblade, just a sword. But it was a gun. So I can kind of see how you get confused between 8 and 13 because of the gunblade. I digress. It's the girl who has the gunblade. There you go. One of the big things about Final Fantasy 13 that a lot of people panned it and hit it hard for was that... have you played a Final Fantasy game ever?
Okay. Well, Tactics?
Okay. Final Fantasy mainline games traditionally have been very large open games. Like you can go, it's a huge RPG, you go do all these different things. Final Fantasy 13 changed that a lot because it was very linear. So for basically 90% of the game, you went down this one path. Like you were these characters and you leveled them up until the end. When you got to the end, the world opened up. And you could do all these missions and quests and stuff, but they were normally when you expected at the beginning, you had to wait till the end for that. Rurutu said lightning is still Bay. She is. She's awesome. But that was its huge. That a lot of people hit that game hard for. Especially now that I'm older, like in looking back on that, I actually liked that. I liked the linearity because it. And this, for me, this is an age thing. I liked the game beforehand when I was playing it, and I'll get to the reasons why in a second. But like now, the fact that I'm older and all these new games are coming out, all these games I want to play, it's really hard for me to focus on like time. But it took me a month to beat Persona 5, and I say that people are like, "Oh, that seems like a reasonable time to put into a 100-hour RPG." But that was like I would come home every night and played on my TV in the living room. I played it enough that my wife, Whitney, she knows the music to the game. Like I could play it in my car. She's like, "Oh, that's from the game Persona." like, yeah, sure is, sweetie. Like, got her, I got you. My wife is not a gamer in any sense of the word. But like the fact that it was linear. Really, like I didn't have to worry about side quests and stuff. I could just go through the main part, and then when I got near the end, that's when I could work on all the stuff to do. And I loved the story. The reason I loved the game, even when it came out, like the story, the characters, the graphics. It was one of the first. It was for 11, 12. It was the first Final Fantasy in HD, like 1080p.
Oh wow!
Because it came out on the 360 and on PlayStation 3. Final Fantasy 12 came out on the PS2, so wasn't HD yet. But this is the models and everything looked great. I enjoyed the story and how the battle system was really awesome. But I really enjoyed that game. A lot of people panned that game and they're like, "Oh, this game was horrible." And the big reason, like Rurutu said, it was too linear. But I really enjoyed.
Also, Snow is Bay.
I really enjoyed it. What?
Snow
is also Bay too. Snow's cool. Snow's dope. Rurutu says Final Fantasy VI with linear too till you get to the world was destroyed. Okay, yeah. I mean, I haven't even played Final Fantasy VI yet. I want to because I've heard that's a really good game. Like that's on a lot of people's top list of best Final Fantasies ever. And it was Bearded Bee. It was very interesting, like how I say linear like it's a bad thing, but like it's just you followed the story. You were in the seat for the story. You went through the story. You had your battles. Like it wasn't like here's the battle. It was like you would get to this area. You could sneak around the area or do whatever you needed to fight whoever you wanted to fight. But it wasn't like open. Like I can go to this zone, then this zone, then this zone. You had to wait till the end to do that. There.
Which, I mean, I would probably be fine with because, I mean, that's one thing that kind of bugs me about some of the RPG games nowadays is they make them so the world's so big. It's like there's sometimes too much to do and you get overwhelmed.
Yep. The Witcher. I can see people saying
Skyrim.
that. Skyrim. Persona 5.
Yeah.
I can see that. Fallen Monk D20 says, I feel the first 2 were a bit rough, good but rough. But Part 3, Lightning Returns, that was the killer game. I wanted to play that. I haven't had a chance to play Part 3 on there. Barutu says, Final Fantasy VI was my first Final Fantasy game. Wow, okay, 7 was mine. That's probably why I hold it in such high esteem. That was the fun. Kefka is still like the top 3 Final Fantasy villains. Play it. Okay, I got to play 13 Lightning Returns. I own it. I do own it. I just haven't played it. It's on Steam.
I'm over here just having played Tactics and like one other Game Boy game on it.
You want which Tactics? Was it the PlayStation 1 version? Was it on
Like Game Boy
Advance?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're going to talk about this, dude. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Yep.
Dude, that game. Woo! That probably it's on my list of top favorite games of all time. I played that game to death. I had the clamshell SP, sitting in the car everywhere we went. Had it in my pocket at school, on trips. Flipped it out with the backlight and played the hell out of Tactics Advance.
Yep. I had the purple Advance.
Okay.
Yep. So I had that and I played it, and I played one other Final Fantasy on Game Boy. I don't remember much about it.
No, they did have. That was back when SquareSoft and Nintendo had like deals.
Yeah.
So some older Final Fantasy games did show up on Nintendo systems back.
And I've looked through a few of the games of some on Twitch stuff like that with people playing it. I can't figure out which one it was I played, but I know I played one of them.
You played one of them.
I want to figure out which one it was though.
Rurutu says I played the hell out of Final Fantasy Tactics on PS1, which is also I started playing that when they remastered that. Fallen Monk D20 says, like I've someone who has played every Final Fantasy game in the main line except 5 and 6, along with a lot of the side games, and Lightning Returns is one of my favorite. Wow, that's a pretty strong recommendation there from Fallen Monk D20. Okay, enough of the Final Fantasy train. That's number 2. So we get to number 3.
Yep.
And it's very interesting because we both ended up with the same number 3.
Yeah.
And I think it's a guilty pleasure games go, especially for us at our age range. I can definitely see this. What's number 3 for both of us?
So this is my one game that falls under the where people may frown upon it or may not be positive upbeat when we played it. It's Pokemon.
Pokemon, man.
I actually restarted Let's Go in the last week or two on stream.
What are some of your memories of Pokemon?
I started out with Pokemon Red.
Okay.
I actually got a Game Boy black and white, the black and white
So
Game
the
Boy,
original one,
and Pokemon Red as a Christmas present for my cousin when I was like 7.
Wow. Okay.
And that was my introduction to Game Boy and Pokemon.
Open the door.
Yeah, open the door with Pokemon. I had so much time into that. So much time. I don't know how many times I beat it and restarted the game. Because that was obviously before they threw stuff behind paywalls.
Oh, but it's...
Look at you, Nintendo and Mew.
Oh, snap. Hands burn. I'm with you on that one. I'm with you now.
Yeah, so started out with that. Eventually got Gold. Yes, Gold. Traded with a family member of my marriage, whatever. Had a family get together. We traded my Gold for his Silver.
Okay.
Because I'd already played Gold and I wanted to try Silver. Because it's a similar game, but there's some distinct
Pokemon
exclusive. Can't. So I wanted to go there and play that. And I also played my cousin's Yellow.
Okay. Yeah, dude. Oh, Yellow. Especially with like the Pokemon show, Yellow was my jam.
Yep.
I loved Yellow.
So I loved Yellow, and I also watched the Pokemon show. I watched.
Of course, all the kids did.
Yeah, I watched it all the way through Elite Four and a little bit of the not Indigo, but the one after it.
Orange.
No, the one where it's second generation.
Oh, Johto.
Watched some of that too. As far as I watched it, and I technically own some of the on Amazon.
Good, good. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
But as far as games, sorry, that was it until Let's Go Pikachu.
Okay. Really? So you never played any other, dude? Okay.
I didn't have any of the consoles that it was on up until then.
Because it was always on the handhelds.
Yeah, because I was on handhelds, and I came from a low income family,
Gotcha.
so we couldn't afford it.
I started with Blue. My neighbor and I, really one of my best friends, we got him together. He got red, I got blue.
Nice.
And so we had the link cables and we were trading back and forth. I had blue. I've played red and blue, gold and silver. I think I didn't play ruby and sapphire because I missed out on that boat. But like, other than that, I'm almost certain that I've played every generation of Pokemon up till today. The exception, the Pokemon Let's Go series, I haven't played. Just because I was like, I'm waiting until Sword and Shield get here.
Which one do you get into that?
Shield.
Getting Sword.
You trade? Yeah.
That's why I got it. Because everybody was pushing Shield. So I was like, I'll get Sword because they're going to be exclusive to each one. We can trade.
Exactly. And now, with the power of the internet, we can actually trade over the internet.
Yep.
I can be at home.
I did that with Amy the other day. When I start my new game, I was like, hey, let's trade my Mew real quick. When we start a new game, we can trade back.
Yes, yes. Save it. Did Pokemon Bank work for that?
I don't know.
I don't know if it still does. I have to see if I'm still paying for Pokemon Bank.
I never had it. So.
It was Pokemon Bank's like for $4 a year or something like that. It's something very inexpensive, but you can store all your Pokemon from all your games up there.
Okay.
Into a bank system.
That's cool. Quick note: we have a member of the True Fam in chat, Matt Sense.
Max Sense is from the True Fam. Hashtag True Fam. What's up, dude? How are you doing this lovely evening? Max is the guy who was looking for streams.
Yep.
That are like podcast talk shows. So I'm glad you came on over to hang out with us here on the Rocket Punch Cast. Thank you, sir, for swinging by and goofing off with us.
Thank you, Bitter B. Again, I didn't know that was a.
I have to go look at the. Thank you, Bearded B. I have to look at the commands.
I mean, I tell them to make some of these. I should know
what. One day, I'm just gonna have everybody who's watching. I'm just gonna have like a piece of paper like right here, and it's gonna be all the commands. And I'll be like, okay, let's go to our Discord chat. Here you go. We're gonna just type them in, and I'm not gonna have to think about them again. There. No, glad to have, of course, more members of the True Game family here. Pokemon's just, that has a special place in my heart. Like Pokemon was a big game when I was a kid. I played it on the bus, traded with friends, played it with especially with my neighbor, my best friend. I remember going through the link cables. I remember when you could do them wirelessly through the IR reader. They started doing that. Pokemon is just a great game, and unfortunately, it's now we are now at the age that if I were to sit out in public and pull out my 3DS XL and start firing up Pokemon, I might get some weird looks like, how old are you?
So speaking of public, you just remind me. I also have Pokemon Go.
Yeah, see. Yeah.
And I get weird lists of that all the time.
Oh, really? Get out of the way! I gotta catch the Bulbasaur in the bushes. Move! Oh God, I'm gonna bring my wall. But Pokemon Go's cool and it actually serves a great purpose too.
Yeah,
it's got like health benefits and whatnot there. It's just one more Gamecast says anything you put on the teleprompt he reads. Not everything. But some stuff I do curate when I read through here. Thank you very much, sir. But no, Pokemon's really good. It's got a special place in my heart, and I know for a fact, me personally, it doesn't matter how old I will get, I will play Pokemon. I will be 60 or 70 years old. I'll be playing some. Gotta catch 'em all.
Every time I stream anything with Pokemon, I always put that in my go live. GeneralPallas is going to catch them all.
That's right. You have to. That's the goal, right? You got to be the champion.
I mean that's the goal of you playing it. So I mean,
You have to be the very best, like no one ever was. Because to catch them is your real test, and to train them is your cause. Yeah, the bearded bee and Twitch
Raise
says
your hand.
same. Like we're gonna be right there. Like I'm never gonna give Pokemon up.
Nope.
Ever. Yeah, so that's a good one. Any other final?
Just like any more? Or?
Any more? Any honorable mentions? I mentioned a couple. Final Fantasy X2, No Man's Sky, I think are good ones for me.
So I haven't played it much lately, and but I did get into it for a little bit though, and this is very much a people hate this one. Fallout 76.
Oh, that would yeah, that would have been a good one.
I actually was talking to Amy the other day. We were both talking about getting back into it. They've had some issues lately with some updates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like where you eat and the game crashes when you eat. So you can't eat and then you die.
That's a problem. That's interesting. I didn't know about that one. I don't play Fallout, so I've learned to accept that I'm just not. It's going to be very hard to get me into a Fallout game. So
I've started Fallout 4 like 3 times and never got past the
really.
beginning.
But you play Fallout 76.
Yeah.
That's
well, that was my intro to it, and I just haven't sat down long enough to really get into Fallout 4.
Gotcha.
But Fallout 76, I'm not that far into 76. I'm like level 20 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's a lot of fun.
Anyone else? Anything else?
Not that comes to mind at the moment. Those Pokemon and Fallout's probably the 76 is probably the big two, right? That's
Come on, Pokemon. Can't wait for Sword and Shield.
Yep.
Cannot wait, man. I'm super excited. But with that, guys, that is it for episode 149 of the Rocket Punch Cast. Everybody, if you're tuning into Twitch, don't go anywhere. We're going to raid some people here in just a minute. GeneralPallas is going to find us somebody to raid real fast as I'm wrapping up the show here.
You don't always have people
yeah,
online.
oh yeah, you do. I try and do that too. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thanks to Tyler, aka GeneralPallas, for joining us on the stream tonight to kind of hang out while Will is out taking care of his mom. Make sure, if you guys haven't had a chance to, go follow his Twitch channel, GeneralPallas on Twitch. We put it. I remembered the command this time, Bearded Bee. So what to Cam? That is in the Twitch chat there, and we'll put his Twitch link in our show notes as well, since he's a guest this evening. Before we wrap up the show, though, I do want to give... Max Sense, he says, I will definitely be back on the show in the future. Thank you, sir. Make sure you follow the channel, so that way you'll know when we go live every Sunday. And throughout the week, too, because we're cool. Let's take a moment. This is very important. I want everybody to take a moment and give a round of applause to Nology/WoW/ our internet service provider, because we didn't have a disconnect on the stream tonight. Give it up for the internet. Everything's working. Woo! No, it was green the whole time. I was super happy. No, guys, but thank you so much as always for joining us here. We really appreciate your guys' support. One more Gamecast says sub bombs the ISP. Don't jinx it. We're almost done. But thank you guys, of course, for joining us. Remember, RocketPunchGo.com is the place you want to go to find all of the content and stuff that we do here at Rocket Punch. Be on the lookout this week. I've got a couple of days off, so definitely going to be working on how our content and stuff is going to roll through, not only for the September, but also some of the events and things that we've got planned moving forward for the rest of 2019. So definitely stay tuned to be on the lookout for our content over at RocketPunchGo.com and all of our sister sites like your Twitch, YouTube, and your podcast service, wherever you listen to that there. But other than that, if you're watching via Twitch, we're going to raid. Who are we raiding today?
JMO.
Oh, we're going to... JMO streaming?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. We're raiding some JMO. He's playing some WoW Classic. We're going to raid our good community friend JMO here, so get ready for that. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching on Twitch, get your Rocket Punch emotes ready so we can go raid him. Everybody else listening, thank you. We'll see you next week.